Tell them what you're doing.
What am I doing? You gotta ask that question.
What are you doing?
Ask me a more specific
What are you doing? Why? Why aren't you benching on a normal bar?
Well, because my training cycle technically starts next week. I'm supposed to do some banded bench press today. I'm gonna do banded bench press. Minor band tension, not some like West Side 500 pounds of band tension. Pretty minor, so the amount of weight on the bar is not changed by very much.
What's the percent you usually say?
I usually say when I like bands, I don't use them in a rotation and conjugate style because people see accommodating resistance and they're like, oh, so I'm doing conjugate. Conjugate's a periodization. I use accommodating resistance sometimes, but I use it in more of like a linear fashion where I use a light amount of bands. I want it to take about 10% off of like whatever I'd be doing for a set of 8 on a normal one. Why are you tapping with your nose?
Because it was going dark. My hands are full.
Whatever I would be like, if I was doing a normal set of 8, let's just say it's 400 pounds, I'd expect it to be like 360, 365 for the banded weight for the same number of reps. And then I keep the band tension as a constant and I just progress it and look for a PR. I don't worry about what the top versus bottom weight is. I just track the straight weight. Once I establish what I feel is an appropriate amount of band tension, that just stays as a constant. And by the end of the training cycle, I look for like a 1 to 3 rep PR on my banded bench. I might do the Yukon against bands today, which is real conjugate-y. I'm deciding still. Mostly because my pecs are tight, and I think it would feel good to stretch them out a little bit. Tell them.
I was trying to tell you. How many arm swings do you do?
I do 10 wrist circles. No, 20 wrist circles, 20 elbow circles, 20 the chest stretch, and then 20 full shoulder circles each way. We used to do this before boxing, the upper body dynamic series, and I just started doing it before I bench press because I figured it was kind of similar, and like some of the injuries might be kind of similar, so the warm up would be good. And then I saw a video of Mikhail Kuklayev, who is a good Russian weightlifter turned strongman powerlifter, and he did almost the exact same thing. So I guess it's like a known thing, like this upper body dynamic series where you go wrists, elbows, chest, shoulders, maybe some twists.
I'd never seen you do those before, so that's why I asked. I've
always
seen Max do them though.
I always used to do them in the corner of the college gym. But yeah, I was like, Max does them because Misha does them. Just as like a quick general before you do any lift, because even like a squat and a deadlift, you're still running force through your upper body. Kirsten, tell the people what the tasty treat you're eating while you film is.
Chicken fingies, barbecue sauce, ketchup, and sriracha mixed together.
The secret sauce. There we go.
I can show you setting up the bands. We can put it in fast motion with the hamster dance.
I don't think I'm going that slow. I don't know how much fast motion is needed.
It is for entertainment value.
Oh. Yeah,
Bee-ba-ba-bee-bo.
Here we go. That's it. That's all there is to it. try it. You're catching on. Terrific.
Why aren't you wearing wrist straps?
I am not wearing wrist straps because my wrists and forearms are a bit weak right now relative to my bench press. And I know that like just periods of taking my wrist straps off fixes that up really quick because my wrists hurt. So I have to squeeze the bar. And by doing a bunch of heavy reps with the bar squeezed, my forearms and my like mechanics of how I'm grabbing the bar and it's sitting really low in my hand and above my wrist, I have to get better or it hurts. So makes me stronger when I feel like my wrists are holding me back, which is lots of people go their whole career without the wrists holding back at all, I think. But that was something I had an issue like my whole benching career and getting better at like that positioning and stuff. And so taking away that equipment sometimes does a lot for my bench press. To make sure the way I'm interacting with the bar is correct, because I can kind of mask it. If I wear my wrist straps always, it gets worse and worse the way I'm interacting with the bar, and then there's some instability when I go to do a really heavy press. I'm convinced that's why my 565 low pin press was a little bit off, because I felt like my wrists were like wobbling on me a little bit. So I just know that I need to, at the very least, do the whole hypertrophy phase, no wrist straps, maybe leave one of my bench days to be no wrist straps all the way through the peak, which I could mess around with this banded bench day because at the very top, I'll presumably be holding more than my actual bench press. So my wrists and hand positioning will be forced to deal with that. The bar can kind of pull on the band can pull on the bar kind of up or down. And that could be a little dicey in terms of like your mechanics, which is why I don't overuse bands. I just use them as like a variation once a week with light band tension tops, because you know the way you might bench with a ton of band tension to bench as much as possible is probably different than how you bench raw, and I don't want that to change my tech, but I could do that on this day and expose my wrist to a bunch of weight. Whoosh.